Hello and welcome to my YouTube channel EXP19 Excel Chapter 7 ML1 Admission. We can move to the instruction file EXP19 Excel Chapter 7 ML1 Admission. If you want to complete assignment or exam, you can contact on my WhatsApp link and email. If you want to complete MylTLab courses, Microsoft Excel, Microsoft Word, Microsoft PowerPoint, and Microsoft Access, we can do online courses in accounting, math, stat, finance, economics, and other courses. So we can move to the step number 1. Step number 1 is start the Excel, download and open the file name EXP19 Excel Chapter 7 ML1 Admission XLS. Grader has automatically added your last name to the beginning of the file name. Go to the Excel worksheet. I have already downloaded the Excel worksheet. So step number 1 is complete. We can move to the step number 2. Step number 2 is first you want to calculate the number of days between the initial deadline and the date received. In the cell D11, insert the days function using the initial deadline that the store in a cell B8 and date received that order store in a cell C11. Go to the Excel worksheet and select the cell is D11, days before deadline. Insert the days function using the initial deadline. Type is equal to and insert the days function. Type the days, open the days function dialog box is open, and using the initial deadline the store in the cell B8 date received that the store in the cell C11, and date is a initial deadline, and start date is the date received. Click OK. Press the absolute cell reference. Press F4 button. Use the make cell reference as a correctory. Already apply the cell reference. So step number 2 is complete. We can move to the step number 3. Step number 3 is copy the days function from D11 to D12 to D67. A negative value indicates the application was received after the initial deadline. Copy the days function D11 to D12 to D67. Copy the function D67. So the step number 3 is complete. We can move to the step number 4. Step number 4 is now you want to determine if a student should be admitted early. In a cell G11, insert the if function with the nested and function to display the either yes or no. In the admit early column, the university admit student early that student meet to early admission criteria for the SAT cell B3 GP and cell B4. Go to the Excel worksheet and selected the cell is G11. Selected the cell is G11 and insert the if function and nested it function. Display the either is yes or no. Type is equal to and type the if function. Open the if function. Logical test is a type the end function and selected cell is set E11 greater than is equal to must admit that student meet both early admission criteria set B32 and GP cell B4. E11 greater than is equal to B3. Set and select apply the absolute set reference F4, apply comma and type the F11 greater than is equal to B4 GPA and apply the absolute set reference B4. Value if true is a yes, if true is a yes, apply the inverted commas, type the yes. Value if false is a true, no, is the no. Value if false is a no, apply the inverted commas and type the no. Click OK. Type is equal to and type the if function. Open the dialog box and logical test is a and selected cell is E11 greater than is equal to B3 comma F11 greater than is equal to B4 and value if true is a yes, value if false is no. Click OK. Okay, and admit early is a yes. So step number 4 is complete. We can move to the step number 5. Copy the function admit earlier. And step number 5 is In a cell H11, enter a function with the nested or function to display the either yes or no. Reject early column. The university reject a student early if that student either you can set score less than 80, 100. Cell C3 is the GPA below 1.80. Excel worksheet and selected the cell is H11, H11 selected, and enter the if function or nested function. Display the either is yes or no the reject early column. Type is equal to and if function. Type the if function. Double click and open the if function is dialog box. Type the or function and select the cell is E11 set less than is equal to less than and selected cell is C3 set and apply the absolute cell reference is C3, apply comma and selected cell is F11 GPA less than and selected cell is C4 GPA, apply the absolute cell reference close bracket and the value if true is a yes and value if false is a type no. Click OK. Reject early result is no. Use the relative and mixed cell reference cell admission criteria. Already apply the absolute cell reference and copy the function. So step number 5 is complete. We can move to the step number 6. Step number 6 is a use a column I to calculate the applicant admission scores. In a cell I11, enter a formula calculate the applicant admission score, multiply the GPA cell F11 by the multiplier cell B7 and then add the result set score cell E11. Go to the Excel worksheet and selected cell is I11 score column and applicant admission score multiply the GPA cell F11 by the multiplier cell B7. Type is equal to and calculate an applicant admission score by the multiplier. The GPA is cell F11 by the multiplier cell B7. Type is equal to and start bracket type F11 GPA multiply by multiplier. Select apply the absolute cell reference plus set E11. $39.25. This first score is 39.25 and copy the function. So step number 6 is complete. We can move to the step number 7. Step number 7 is in a cell G11, enter the if function. If admit early is a yes and display the text is early admission. If a reject early is a yes, display the text is early rejection. Go to the Excel worksheet and select the cell is G11. Final decision. And enter the if function. Type is equal to, type the if function and select the cell is admit early G11. Type is equal to inverted commas yes, inverted commas is early admission, and apply the inverted commas and reject early H11. Type is equal to and type inverted commas, type yes, apply commas, apply the inverted commas, early rejection. Add the inverted commas. Okay, and select the score is I11 greater than is B6. Apply the absolute set reference, comma and inverted commas, and apply the admit. Type the admit, comma, selected cell is I11. Less than is equal to the absolute cell reference, inverted commas, and type the reject. And close bracket, press enter button. Final decision is early admission. Use the mix cell reference is cell B6. B6 is absolute cell reference, and copy the function is final decision Ch07. So step number 7 is complete. We can move to the step number 8. So step number 8 is you are ready to copy the formula down their respective. Copy the formula admit early, reject early, score and final decision column. I already copied the formula. Admit early, reject early, and score and final decision. Step number 8 is complete. We can move to the step number 9. Step number 9 is in a cell H3, insert a counting function to count the number early admission in the range J11 to J67. Use the mix cell reference for the range argument and use cell E3 as a condition. Select the cell is H3. Select the cell is H3. Insert the countif function, count the number early admission in the range J11 to J67. Type is equal to, and insert the function is countif function. Type the countif function. Open the countif function. Range is J11 to J67. J11 to J67 range. And criteria is the E3. Use the cell E3. Criteria range is the E3. E3 early admission. Click OK. Should the copy the function cell H4. It should automatically to count the number admit in the range J11 to J67. Copy the function to cell H4. H4. Copy the function. So step number 9 is complete. We can move to the step number 10. So the step number 10 is insert in the cell I3, enter the average function, calculate the average set score in the range E11 to E67, where the final decision in the range J11 to J67 or early admission. In a cell I3, enter the average function. Go to the Excel worksheet and select the cell is I3 and enter the average function. Type is equal to and type the average if function. Average if function. Open the average if function. Where final decision in the range J11 to J67. Early admission. J11 to J67. Range is final decision J11 to J67. Criteria is type the F4. Press button F4, absolute cell reference. Criteria is E3. Criteria is E3 and score in the range E11 to E67, where final decision in the range J11 to J67. Average range is E11 to E67. Set column E11 to E67. Apply the absolute set reference. Click OK. Final decision range is early use the mix and reference. Okay. So step number 10 is complete. We can move to the step number 11. Step number 11 is you want to calculate the average GPA score early admission. In a cell J3, insert average if function to calculate the average GPA in the range F11 to F67, where final decision in the range J11 to J67 early admission. Go to the Excel worksheet and select the cell is J3. And insert the average if function, calculate the average GPA in the range F11 to F67. Type is equal to and average if function. Open the average if function dialog box. Final decision in the range J11 to J67. Final decision is J11 to J67. And apply the absolute cell reference, press F4 button. Criteria range is a E3, early admission. Average range is a F11 to F67. F11 to F67. Apply the absolute cell reference, press F4 button, click OK. So step number 11 is complete. We can move to the step number 12. Step number 12 is apply the number format 0 decimal places in a cell I3. Selected cell is I3. Count number format 0 decimal places. Go to the home tab and number group. Click the number and 0 decimal places. Click OK. And then copy the function in the range I3 to J3. Copy the function I3 to J3 and I4 to J4. J3 to J4. So step number 12 is complete. We can move to the step number 13. Step number 13 is you want to count the number of applications that are made to condition. In a cell H5, insert the counter function to count the total number of applications that made two conditions score in the range I11 to I67 are greater than or equal to 3500 and final decision in the range G11 to J67 or early admission in cell E11. In a cell H5, insert the COUNTIF function. Go to the cell H5, insert the COUNTIF function is equal to and COUNTIF function. Open the COUNTIF function. COUNTIF function count the number of application to condition score in the range I11 to I67. Criteria range is a I11 to I67. Score column I11 to I67, and the criteria 1 is the inverted commas greater than type is equal to and 3500. Criteria range 2 is a final decision in the range J11 to J67. J11 to final decision J67. Apply the absolute cell reference, press F4 button, and criteria 2 is a cell E3. Cell E3, selected cell early admission and click OK. Step number 13 is complete. We can move to the step number 14. Step number 14 is you want to count the number of applications that meet to the more condition. In a cell I6, insert the COUNTIF function to count the number of applications that meets to condition residents in the range B11 to B67 in the state and final decision in the range J11 to J67 or early admission in a cell E3. In a cell I6, insert the COUNTIF function. Go to the Excel worksheet and select the cell H6. Insert the COUNTIF function. Type is equal to and type the COUNTIF function. Open the COUNTIF function dialog box and residents in the range B11 to B67 in state. So criteria range is B11 to B67. Residents criteria 1 is in state. Type inverted commas in a state. And criteria range 2 is J11 to J67 early admission. Criteria range 2 is early admission column J11 to J67. Select the range J11 to J67. And criteria 2 is cell E3. Cell E3 is early admission and click OK. So step number 14 is complete. We can move to the step number 15. So step number 15 is you want to identify the highest score based on a two condition. In a cell I7, insert the max if function, identify the highest score in the range I11 to I67 that meet two condition residents in the range B11 to B67 or in a state. Go to the Excel worksheet and select the cell is H7. H7 is insert the max if function to identify the highest score in the range I11 to I67. H7 type is equal to and type the max if function. Open the max if function and identify the highest score in the range I11 to I67. Max range is I11 to I67. Score column and criteria range 1 is B11 to B67. Criteria range 1 is B11 residents B11 to B67. And criteria 1 is in a state. Type inverted commas in a state. Type the inverted commas. Criteria range 2 is J11 to J67. J11 to J67 early admission and final decision column J11 to J67. J11 to J67. Criteria 2 is early admission cell E3. Early admission cell E3. Click OK. So step number 15 is complete. We can move to the step number 16. So step number 16 is in a cell H8, insert the average function to calculate the average score in the range I11 to I67 that meets two conditions resident in the range B11 to B67 in state and final decision in the range J11 to J67 or ADM. In the cell H8, insert the average function. Go to the cell H8, type is equal to and type the average function. If function and open the average function. Calculate the average score in the range I11 to I67. Average range is I11 to I67. And criteria range is B11 to B67. Residents column B11 to B67 and criteria 1 is Criteria 1 is a inverted commas in a stat. Type the stat. Criteria range 2 is a J11 to J67. Early admission. Final decision column is a J11 to J67. And type inverted commas. Multiply ADM multiply. Type the ADM multiply by and inverted commas, click OK. So step number 16 is complete.